Those girls are out of control.
Get away from me!
They're using their sexuality as a weapon.
Someone help me!
Get out of here, you animals!
This isn't working! You're only making them sexier!
Hello everyone, and welcome to Cinema Circle, a show where we talk and review all of your favorite movies coming out of Hollywood. A show for the fans, by the fans. I'm your host today, Zander Francis, and with me are my associates, Mr. Scenario Shaquille VonJevy.
Yeah, I'm back and I'm healthy.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
He's back. And Miss Kiki SB.
Hello.
You guys alright?
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
good today.
Right.
I'm ready.
Healthy, good to go? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Healthy today too.
Alright. Today we will be looking at the film Neighbors 2 starring Seth Rogen and Zac Efron. You want to give us a little peek at the summary, please?
Yeah. When their new next-door neighbors turn out to be sorority even more debaucherous than the fraternity previously living there, Mac and Kelly team with their former enemy, Teddy, to bring down the girls.
Pretty to the point, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty short. That one.
So, it's a comedy sequel, so I mean, you know.
Yeah.
Alright, let's start off with the good. Who wants to start?
Yo, this movie I thought was really, really good. I really enjoyed this movie. I had such a great time in the theater. I love the cast. The cast I thought was perfect, right? I love Zac Efron. I think he's an underrated actor. I think that he can do, if he chooses the right roles, he can be better. You know what I'm saying? Like
Absolutely.
he has a career ahead of him. You know what I mean?
I definitely felt that too. I
Yeah,
agree with that.
like I felt like that from I think the first Neighbors or even a little bit before that. I'm like, there's something with this kid, right?
He caught my attention this time, actually.
Oh, this time?
Yeah,
there's
I'm
something
like,
there.
you know what? He's got something. I think he's here to stay.
Yeah,
He
I
needs
think
to
he's
choose
here.
different roles now.
Yeah, he needs to start choosing a
Yeah.
little bit and stop choosing like the like We Are Your Friends, like
Yeah.
that movie that didn't do anything, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But this movie I thought was really good. I thought that and I like Chloe and Seth, right? He's just amazing,
Wow.
right?
Yeah.
But I thought this movie was like, it had, I don't know if I can necessarily say rules of a comedy sequel, but it had elements of the first one in it, but it was done, they made it innovative, right? So they weren't just copying and rehashing old jokes. They kind of flipped it on its head a little bit and made it a little bit different than what they had in the previous film. And this movie, I just thought that this movie was fantastic. I thought that it hit every mark that it should have hit. I thought that it was a little bit different than the first one, and I can still enjoy the first one and this one, and just I enjoyed this one as much as I enjoyed the first one.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my good.
Yeah, for me, I actually I really don't like comedy. Is not my favorite genre because I feel like a lot of the comedy that they have is like silly comedy, and I don't find that amusing, right?
Yeah.
I like dark comedy, so
Yeah.
so you know, this one was light, and I was actually laughing. Like it actually made me laugh for like the majority of the movie. You know, I didn't feel like the jokes were stale and just repeated reruns. You know what I mean? And yeah, the cast was great. I like the girls. The new cast was great as well. Yeah. Even though the setting was the same, that didn't bother me at all. I actually liked that. And Zac Efron, he was great. He did a good job. And yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. I can separate the first one from the second one as well, and I could watch both of them again and enjoy them equally as like separate movies. You know, not just as like a sequel. So I liked it. I was surprised too.
Yeah, that's it.
I thought it was. I mean, there was great laughs in it.
Yeah.
I had a great time while I was there. I thought Zac Efron really won me over, just in general as an actor, because I never really took him that serious. But I think I see that he means business, and he's gonna keep sticking to the acting and do more parts. And I think I can get on board with him as a leading man or as just an actor in general. Seth Rogen is Seth Rogen.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He's so funny.
I just love his delivery. I
Yeah.
love his dialogue.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not written like that on the page all the time. It's just he looks at it and at situational comedy, and they go. You know, there's a lot of improvisation there.
And him and Rose together.
Yeah.
Perfect comedic timing.
It's funny. At first, I didn't think it would work because I'm like, why is she with this guy? But then I'm like, they made it work, right? I just it's a general good time.
It's so natural of a movie. It seems like the cast is very comfortable together.
Yeah.
Even with the new
The
guys.
new cast, yeah.
They
Like,
definitely
they
look like they're having a good time.
Yeah.
They do.
So that's always great for us. Okay, here's the bad. Sequels in general. For me, the rule is more. Okay? For me, I didn't even think, I enjoyed the first one, but on a very superficial level. It was a 7 at best for me. Now, this movie, I don't think really pushed the limits for me. I think I'm literally the polar opposite. And I love comedy sequels. I just love them. I have a bias, almost, you could say, to liking them. So the fact that I went into this one and I was feeling all of those things you're talking about that you would feel, where it feels like the formula is tired to me.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, and it's very interesting that I'm coming out like this and you guys are coming out like that, but that's why we do this.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
I thought the first one was very, excessive. I thought it was all over. I thought it was very. It had more than this one. This one, it didn't come up to that level. It kind of stagnated.
Now that you're saying that, I agree with you. The first one did have a lot. Like a lot.
But you know what?
There were guys,
the first one,
I know.
Let's go to war.
Yeah.
They were ready to go to war.
Guys, again, I did have a good time. It didn't really take away. It's just after looking at it, I didn't think a sequel was really necessary. I understand that they kind of, okay, let's do the sorority. And it's like, okay, it's a beautiful opportunity for a sequel. And they went for it, so I can respect that.
I'm surprised they did a sequel though.
But I'm surprised, but naturally you would do sorority if you want to make a difference.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
obvious.
It's
It's obvious.
It's a very organic move to make, and I respect it because I'm a sequel lover. So I'm not going to say no, I don't want any more. I always say give me more, always, even if it's just there's bad inklings and bad feelings. I'm like number 2, number 3, come on, So yeah, I guess I wanted it to be. I wanted it to beat the first one, not in terms of originality, not in terms of any of that, because the first one in any genre is very hard to beat.
Yeah.
So I just wanted it. Now, what The Hangover, you brought that example up. That The Hangover did for me was it took that formula and then just went like the third one went a little off the map. And a lot of people didn't like it for that. So they were criticizing the second one for being too much like the first one. Then they criticized the third one for not being a hangover movie. So that didn't make any sense to me. But I enjoyed it because they took the characters I loved and threw them in an even more absurd situation and just more.
It was more. It was the same story, but it was just more.
Yeah.
Or it was over the top.
It was the same. Yeah.
And I understand why people don't like that. I am just a fan of that. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, we have these characters, go do more crazy and stupid stuff. But I mean, again, it's an entertaining film, but I kind of felt like it was stagnating. Okay. Yeah.
There was one scene in particular that I was dying for because Seth is just so amazing, but they didn't give it to me. Like how you know how you always say give it to me, and I really wanted it this time. Like give it to me. Yeah. In the trailer, I felt like it hit more in the trailer than it did in the actual movie. The part where
he's in the car.
Yes. And like she comes out, like she's so brilliant. I love Rose. She comes out and she's just like spraying them with water, and she's like, "Stop it! You're only making them sexy." Right? And then in the trailer, I think he said, "What did he say in the movie?" Because it was different from the trailer. It was
different.
Yeah,
that's what I recall.
In the trailer, he was like, "Stop!
You're making
them
sexy."
He's like, "Stop! Stop!" Like. Oh, stop, right? And I liked it. It was a little bit longer. I felt like in the movie they cut it shorter. Yeah. And he's just like, I don't like it. I don't like it. And it was done. And I was just like, oh, I'm like, that scene right there because he's so good.
More.
I wanted more.
Isn't it interesting when they make those decisions?
Yeah, like it's it's so weird. Because and one of the things that I've always said was that it doesn't matter how good of an actor you are or whatever, right? Or you could be an okay actor. The editors have one of the most important jobs because if you cut something
sure.
too late or cut something too early, it could ruin the way how the tone or the way how the actor is portraying whatever they're portraying
or
in
that
particular
comedic
scene.
moment that
Exactly.
they're trying to.
And I feel like that's what they did. The whole movie was funny,
yeah.
but I felt like with that they cut it too short, and I could have been laughing a little bit longer.
I feel like the girls felt defeated too many times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They weren't like, let's do this, you know, let's get them out, like, let's get at them. You know, they're kind of like, well, guys, what are we going to do? And it's like, okay, well, if you guys are going to war, like, you know, put on your game face, do it.
The way how they wrote the movies or whatever, they wrote this movie, they could have flipped it, right? We see a picture of a thong on the poster.
Yeah.
It's a really bad representation of this movie because
Yeah,
this
it
movie's
is.
not that.
Yeah, it is.
I wanted to say the message
Was actually
in the
really
good
good.
section of this. The message. I actually really loved what they stood for.
Yeah.
It wasn't what I thought it was going to
Exactly.
be, because I mean, you look at the poster and it's like, okay, they're just going to be, you know,
Yeah.
partying all the time and, you know, being irresponsible and doing all that. But it was more about being empowered
Yeah.
Exactly.
and being respected.
And
which
had,
I was-
they had dignity.
Right.
Yeah, they had
I was a
dignity.
big fan
You
of
see
that.
in the last scene.
All right, continue your
But
back.
this movie didn't need that though. This movie could have been like, even though the girls, it could have been raunchy and like, you know, we'll do anything to get what we want,
Yeah.
everything. So yeah, the message was cute, but it,
Hey, she gets to say it. We don't.
but I mean, you can play on the sexism thing, but still like, we want dirty comedy. You know what I mean?
That's why we're here.
We want it to be a little
Yeah.
more raunchy.
They could have had one. They could have had at least one character like that.
Yeah, not all three of them like, yes, guys.
Everyone
let's
was
do it.
like, yeah.
Yeah, like for the good, for females and let's
But they
be
were kind of like the
empowered.
misfits, the outcasts. You know what I mean?
Kind of.
So, okay.
I mean,
Hey, the verdict. What are we saying? Out of 10.
I am going to give this movie a 5. I'm gonna give it a 5.
Ooh.
What?
Oh, boy.
I'm gonna give it a 5.
All right, we know where you
Give
stand.
me the minute.
Yeah. That just happened.
What? Wow.
So for this movie, they shouldn't have
They shouldn't have gone there.
opened the book and
Yeah?
read.
Okay, fair
you
enough.
know?
Yeah.
Just close
It's
the book
refreshing
and
to
do
hear
it.
from a woman.
I
It
hear
is.
that.
I hear it.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow.
What do you got?
You want me?
What do you got?
All right. Although I agree.
Wipe your face. Wipe your tears.
Yo, that was hilarious. I'm sorry. I wasn't expecting that. If anything, I was expecting at least a 6, but I wasn't expecting that. I agree with you in the sense that I was not looking for a message with this movie. I didn't care for story. The concept alone is good enough for me. Right? It's a great time. I laughed my ass off, so I'm gonna give it an 8.
Okay.
Yeah. I know it's a high rating,
Oh.
but it really made me feel good because I have I have such low expectations for the genre on
Absolutely.
whole.
Absolutely. And the sequel. Never mind.
And sequels.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a big thing because sequels they normally suck.
Yeah, we
don't
talked about that a few weeks ago.
like you like the comedy sequels. They hit well for you,
But
don't,
not for you, yeah.
they don't hit well for me at all. And this one hit. And that's why I'm like, yo,
That's
you
good.
know what?
Yep.
Your ball is going. I want to see more from this world. The way how they ended it, it opens it up to have a third one, but be done a little bit differently.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm interested in that, and that's what I like. I left here wanting to see more, and they were all great actors. They weren't
Yeah.
just,
Oh, yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So my rating is gonna be an 8. Good job, guys.
Nice. Makes sense to me.
Regardless of my score, good job.
Yeah, make sure they know.
Yeah, they should know.
I'm gonna land at a 6, because the first Neighbors was a 7 for me.
Yeah.
Just because I'm not that crazy about the concept itself, from the get-go.
Oh.
Like, I didn't even think there was room for a sequel here. Well, obviously there's room because
Yeah.
you put a sorority, but I'm like, I don't know. I guess if it makes enough money.
Like they didn't have
You
to
know?
make a sequel.
I didn't think they
Right.
had to.
Yeah.
I didn't think they had enough fuel.
Okay, if you have any questions, you can send us an email at cinemacircle1@gmail.com. And don't forget to follow us on our Instagram, cinema_circle. And yeah, If anybody wants to join Cinema Circle, just send us an email.
Yeah. If you want to be
part of the circle.
If you want to co-host with the three of us here.
All right. So from everyone here at Cinema Circle, stay blessed and always keep it 100.
Cheers.
Peace. Hey everyone, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Also click like, share, and subscribe.